tell.
Andrew.
Okay. How many? Anybody's made sauerkraut?
Nico.
Hey, you guys, quiet down. Quiet down a little bit over there. Okay. How many people made sauerkraut?
Never.
Okay. What are the ingredients? Well, don't say. If you already made sauerkraut, don't tell me.
Salt.
It's supposed to be yellow, green cabbage, but we're out of green cabbage, and we gotta use what we have. And you can make it. See, that's the thing is we think of sauerkraut, we think of green cabbage or what. You can make it with purple cabbage. You can make it with a lot of different things. Yeah. So we got cabbage and what else? Salt.
Salt.
Anything else?
Sugar. Vinegar. Sugar. Water. Make it coleslaw. Pickle and spicy. You make a coleslaw.
No, it's cabbage and salt.
Cabbage and salt is it.
What's gonna happen? Look at the amount of salt we need for this amount of cabbage. There's 5 pounds of cabbage here, a quarter cup of salt. That's it.
Every quarter cup.
Yeah. What's gonna happen is that we're looking for fermentation. What's making is that is lactic acid is gonna be produced when we press it down. We're gonna crush it a little bit. The enzymes are gonna come out. It's gonna form lactic acid. The lactic acid is what makes it sour. Okay. Well, what's interesting, this is where nature is just so fascinating. It's fascinating. The lactic acid.
Come on, they got to be quiet, man.
The lactic acid.
We can't hear you.
Some of the bacteria, the bad bacteria, can't survive with the lactic acid environment. But the good bacteria that's good for you, that makes it, ferments it, that makes it last, will survive the lactic acid.
I guess our education.
You guys, hey, we got class. Thank you. Okay.
Chef Sue.
All right. So the lactic acid forms. That's what ferments, and that's where we get the sourness and makes it last. You can keep it as long as you want. What happens is when refrigeration, that stops the process or slows down. It doesn't stop it; it slows it down. So when we keep this out, we're going to keep it in room temperature. The problem being with this temperature, you can feel it so up and down. But that's where we have trouble here. You need a more consistent room. You know, anybody who's from the East Coast? Anybody? You had root cellars, what basements? Okay, I had a basement. Okay, what the purpose of basements? It has more room for kids to play, right? No, that's what they use. They use it for root cellar. That's where because it was a constant temperature. The constant temperature about 52 degrees, which is perfect. Ideal for fermentation products. So all you do is you take some of the cabbage. Yes.
I put mine in a little refrigerator.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Keep the temperature constant.
And that's good too.
Yeah.
Whatever works like that. Now, the one thing you got to remember, you know, the people say it only needs a little bit of salt, and you just keep pressing down. What I use is they have presses. You can use a wood like a rolling pin or something like that, a solid one, a dowel, anything. To press it. They have stuff that presses out, but you got to press it until juice comes out. I would put more in here. I'm just kind of showing you for the process. You can put more in and press it down. But you got to keep pressing until the juices come out and cover it. It's got to be submersion in liquid. It can't be showing because you'll get mold on it, and you get mold in it. But it's like you can just pull the mold off and eat it. I mean, you know, you really can. There's nothing wrong with it underneath. It's just that top part. You know, and sometimes they use them for other things, you know, but still, that's what you want, yeah, cheese. So, you keep pressing and keep pressing and keep pressing until the juices start to come.
The lactic acid.
Well, the lactic acid will form. The salt and the cabbage and the juice starts to, lactic acid starts to form. And the bacteria that's thriving that will start to grow. Yep, here's the juice. You see the juice? It's amazing how much comes out.
Right.
You know, how do you press it on yours with your hand?
Like
or
a muddler
do you use a,
you wouldn't want to use a muddler.
I don't know, maybe.
I've had a batch in for about 3 years.
Yeah. See, and that's another thing. That's a good point. Once you form this and get to good, it's like a starter, and you can use it for other pickling, and it's like a jump start to starter. Now you can ferment, and you can use, like you said, vinegar and sugar, like everything was saying. Those pickles, and those are like a quick pickle. That's like a one-day pickle, which is fine. It works fine. It's like more like a marinade, but it will cause a little bit of fermentation, but doesn't more. But taste the difference between, if you like sauerkraut, or taste the difference between when we make pickles compared to that in the store, if we get a good batch. I haven't had a good batch in a while, so we'll see. But you can see the liquid and you can feel it. If you push it down and keep pushing it, you can feel it. And so you can put some more in once you start getting a little more salt. And you're going to use this salt for both. Now what we're going to do once we finish this, where's the other list? Right here. You can put this in a crock and weigh it down and put it underneath the liquid. And that'll fine. What's that? It's the same thing. It's very similar. Pickling is, it's a fermentation pickling, and there's also like quick pickling, which is where you add the acid and vinegar or things like that. Now, you can do this. It takes about 3 weeks you weigh it down and keep it in a crock pot or something like that. Not a crock pot. You know what I'm talking about, a crock. Or we came across these. These are mostly made for wine, but they work really well and they'll speed it up. We can make sauerkraut in a week with this. What this does is it seals it. We can seal it first. Well, I'll seal it in a minute. You fill this with water, right?
Yeah, I'll seal it.
Okay. You fill it. No, we're going to need to keep on going. So it's okay. Because we got to put more in there. You fill this with water. What happens is when this produces carbon dioxide and other like that, the gas comes out and goes out, but nothing can come in. The gas bubbles out. So that helps it because no air is in there, no bacteria, bad bacteria from the air is coming in and getting in there. It helps it preserve it and also speeds it up. So with this, it only takes about a week, which is really cool. And it's really good stuff.
Versus a month.
Versus, 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks like that. 3 weeks a month, whatever it takes. So, and it kind of makes it pretty good. I made a couple of good plastic. And you can buy these really cheap, couple bucks somewhere.
What do they cost?
Wine.
Wine.
I forget. Moonshine place, yeah.
Moonshine.
I forget what you call it. Anyway, and they work really well. I made a couple batches over the summer in a very quick time. And like I said, what's great about this, I'm reading a lot about fermentation. Now you can take some of the juice, and that's like a starter for others, and give it different flavors.
So it's like Amish bread.
Very similar, yeah. It's kind of like the sourdough too. You know, like a sourdough starter. This is basically what a sourdough. When you hear about sourdough starters and things start with, and you can keep on going. You got 3 years, you can do the same thing. Okay, so we'll finish this. We'll clean up everything once we get it done. If anybody wants to help the group or whatever, and then we're going to use these two. Make sure this salt it goes in. This is for all this cabbage, so make sure we balance it well. Okay, and just keep pushing.
All the way or to like 3/4?
How about 3/4? I do it. But you don't put any liquid or anything like that inside. The only thing liquid should be from the cabbage itself. Okay?
So you say you clean up and